season 2 of Talk the Talk, Rio Grande Valley Stars. I'm Alex Sarabia, along with my co-host Isaac Medina. And today we have an outstanding guest, a very funny guy, a professional comedian. A lot of you know him and you've gone to his shows and laughed a lot with him. And today we're going to learn a little bit more about his background and why he got interested in this career. He's going to share some achievements, some obstacles, and also talk about his future goals. So thank you, Raymond Orta, for being here.
You guys, thank you for inviting me, guys, on the show. I appreciate you guys. These guys obviously dressed up for the occasion. I just pulled in from out of town, so I'm sorry I look doble and stuff. But we've been going out throughout the country and just dominating the stages, man. If you haven't seen a show, I feel bad for people that have never seen a show and they're just, pues el vato se la pasa hablando de los Cowboys on Facebook. Guys, the difference between Facebook and stand-up comedy on stage is two different monsters. When I'm on stage, I'm not being censored by Zuckerberg or nothing. It's uncensored, raw comedy, taco en madre, and I'm there to make you laugh. I've literally made somebody shit their pants. Like literally, can we cuss? I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. I literally made somebody poo. Made somebody poo their pants, right? And
I came prepared. I wear diapers today.
yeah, no.
Has that been your biggest achievement?
No, dude. Honestly, this past when it was February 9th. A dude died at my show. I don't know if you guys heard about that.
No.
I was doing a show, and out of nowhere, this guy falls off of his chair, and I'm thinking, it's happened before where people fall out of their chairs and they're laughing, you know. So yo pensé that this guy fell out of his chair laughing, and he was just like, está risa on the floor. I go live on Facebook, you know. Hey guys, I made this guy fall out of his chair. It turns out the guy was actually like, he had laughed so hard he suffered a cardiac arrest.
Oh my gosh.
He said, and I mean, from what I heard, the family had told me that he had a prior heart condition, so he was already like on borrowed time and stuff. So it was just, but for me, dude, that makes comedy like, that was real hard because
unexpected.
you see, dude, cause the guy was young, man. Like he was no more than 50 some years old, and to see somebody that you think is like, you know, having a good time,
Wow.
that for me. I'll be real, like, this is gonna sound real crappy, right? But everybody has to die, right? Everybody has to die. If I could sign up to die in a fit of laughter, sign me up, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I could choose the way to go, I mean, a fit of laughter. So, I mean, part of me, people were telling me like, you know, don't feel bad, because I did feel bad I still feel like it's weird, you know. It feels weird, you know, like, because I do this to make people feel good. I make people laugh because I'm hoping to bring them out of their slumps, and that's why I do this. I love what I do. And then when somebody dies, you feel like, dude, I hurt somebody, but then at the same time, I didn't really hurt them because they're in a better place now. So it's like, it's such a mixed bag of emotions, right? It's crazy.
So tell us how all this got started.
And where you're from, because you're from La Jolla, right?
La Jolla, Texas, LJ, High Speed Chase.
Coyotes.
Yeah, Coyotes. Yeah, we're known for human smuggling. So, yeah, that's why we're the Coyotes. Like, it's Coyote country. And seriously, if you need a person brought over from Mexico, talk to my representative. We have a 2-for-1 special. Do it now before the wall goes up. But no, I'm from La Jolla. I grew up real rancho style, dude. My first, like, as a matter of fact, before my mom met my stepdad, my mom and I were homeless. Like, and I was 3 years old and living out of her car for about 3-4 months, and we were living out of her car, and we went and moved to La Jolla with my stepdad and his parents in this wooden house that didn't have indoor plumbing. There was an outhouse. You had to go take a poop outside, and you had a bathtub that you had to boil water in order to get hot water and mix it with cold water, and I grew up showering with a cup. I thought that was normal. I mean, when you go from living in a car to living in a little wooden house, that's a huge upgrade, you know. So when that happens, it's just like, people nowadays would say, "Ay, que casa tan pobre." Dude, I had some of the most amazing, loving-filled memories in living in those times when we didn't have much to say, tenemos chingos. Those were the best times of my life. Like, I really grew up in a rancho con las slingshots, you know, playing with lizards, playing with ants and stuff like that. And to say that, the rare commodity around the house was laughter, you know? So that's why I became what I became. I was a little kid, and I remember I would be able to make my mom laugh all the time. All the time I could make my mom laugh con madre. And she always remembered, and she's always, to this day, I make her laugh con madre. And she says, I know when God gave me you, we didn't have much, but I know I had laughter, for sure we had laughter. And that to me always meant a lot to me. So when I made my mom laugh, when we were going through some hard times, dude, that just fueled me. And I was like probably like 5, 6 years old, barely going to kindergarten, first grade, second grade. I was already the class clown. And then in third grade, I remember seeing a talent show in school open for third, fourth, and fifth graders. And I remember seeing it. I mean, I can remember clearly what it looked like now. And it said, can you sing? Can you dance? Can you, do, like, do you have a talent? And it had all these things, like, all these talents, right? And at the very bottom, or even tell jokes. Like, as if it was like some dismissive, or even tell jokes. Join the talent show, right? And I said, well, I can tell jokes. I want to do this. As a third grader, I joined the talent show wanting to do comedy, and I did jokes that I wrote myself. I didn't record anybody, I didn't do anybody's stick. I did jokes that an 8-year-old wrote. Original, like an 8-year-old thought. And it killed. I killed it. I won first place. I was hooked. And immediately, people at school started thinking, Opus, this is the funny guy.
Yeah.
You know, the teachers started saying, Opus, he's allowed to get away with that because he's the funny guy. And I was like, dude, there's a lot of power that comes with being funny. And when you are able to like get away with troublesome, that more people would get referrals and stuff, I'd show up to the principal's office with a referral, and the principal would look at it and be like, J.A.R. Raymond, like, you just tell the teacher that I talked to you. And she'd send me back to class. She wouldn't even call my mom. I was like, oh yeah, but because I was funny. So I was hooked on that since I was a little kid, dude. And I started seeing how being the funny guy led to popularity. You know, so it's just like I won homecoming king in high school and stuff like that. So it was because the fun prevails every time, bro. Every time. Like you think about the Super Bowl commercials.
Yeah.
Which ones do you remember?
The funny ones.
The funny ones. I like that.
Yeah. So it helped also with your self-esteem.
Big time.
Yeah.
And I mean, people used to bully me, right? I used to get bullied because they used to call me Raymond Torta, right? Right? Hey, Raymond, jamón torta, pinche jamón torta, right? And it's La Jolla, bro. La Jolla, I mean, if you think that's bad bullying, bro, like, we had a chick that was missing these 3 fingers, le dijeron la cowabunga. No perdonan a nadie ahí en La Jolla, bro. I'm just letting you know, bro. Bullying is alive and well over there.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because that's what, if I didn't have bullies, I wouldn't be a comedian, you know? Because when they were bullying me about my last name, I started saying, oh, pues, I'm gonna take your last name y te voy a hacer garras, you know? So people would be like, hey, ¿qué onda? Pinche Raymond Torta. Mario Cantú se lava la cola con champú, you know? Like the stupid ones, you know? Mario Vela, me la pela, right? and it was like, that's honestly how I started developing my comedy, my talking crap skills since I was a little kid. So now I use that every day. Like even in nowadays, like when you're getting into a heckling match, when there's like a dude at the show and he thinks he's me va a chingar. Bro, I've been talking shit since I was a little kid. Like you're not gonna be. It's like stepping into a cage with a professional fighter that's been doing it all his life, y tú apenas empezaste unos boxing classes, una jab, 1, 2, 1, 2. No, it's not gonna happen, man, you know?
And how does it feel to come from such a small town and becoming so big and famous?
I love it, dude. I love it so much because I'm from a small town, and the fact that I still live there, people are telling me all the time, man, when are you gonna come to LA? I don't fucking need LA, bro. I got my house paid for, my car's paid for, I live comfortably. Whenever I need to do shows, I can do shows. I can tell people no. I can say, me puedo quedar en la casa y me puedo pellizcar un huevo todo el día. I'm fine, you know? That's what, and when people say, oh, pues, you haven't done anything with your career. Bro, I've made it. In my mind, I've made it because I haven't had to punch anybody's clock. I've done my own punching of my own clock for the past 7, 8 years where I've been on my own just solely based on my comedy, and I've been the most free. And when you can say that you're free to do what you want, that's when you made it. I mean, I don't have to go to work. I don't have to wake up to an alarm clock. Que rico se siente, chica. Que rico se siente. Once people understand getting out of debt as fast as you can, people will sign up for these 30-year mortgages. No, bro, hey, yo pagué la pinche la casa cash as fast as I could. La troca cash. Get it out of the way. You're done. People say, oh, but what about your credit? I don't need credit. If I need it, I'll pay for it cash. If I don't have the money for it, I'll ask friends that'll lend me the money for it. You know, that's the way business-minded people think.
And when did you start making money off your comedy?
I started when I was 15 years old. 15 years old, that was the first time that I actually understood that I was like, dude, like, I can make money doing this. Because my friend's dad, he owned a bar, okay? So he was like a Tejano legend, and he made this bar so he could get off the road and just like, whenever he wanted to jam, he had a stage, you know, to jam on. Well, I would work with my best friend there, and we would bust tables, así nomás quedando palo, $5-10 at the end of the night, and it was just enough for us to go to the snack bar the next day. Well, one time, I call him my tío, my second pops label. He set up a band PA system, and they were getting ready for, like, before every Friday, they'd have like the pre-gaming ahí de los football Fridays. Pues everybody would show up to this cantinita, get loaded up, and then go to the game, right? La Joya tradition, puro pinche coyote. And, right? And one time they were gonna have this little band there play from 5 to 7, and then the game started at 7:30, everybody would go at 7 o'clock. So before the band got there, they had the PA system, and I started doing jokes, and I had already been doing jokes through school, through talent shows, and all this stuff. And then I remember real specifically, dude, I was just goofing off, cagando palo, no man, cagando palo. And people were coming in there, started laughing, and I had people drinking, and they started having a good time. And I got off stage, I probably did like 45 minutes, dude. For a 15-year-old to do 45 minutes of comedy, it's unheard of. It's unheard of. And I was already doing 45 minutes to an hour of comedy at 15, and then I got off stage, and then my pops, I tell him, he gives me $50. And I go, hey, pops, you gave me too much money. Like, I just bust some tables. No. You didn't bust tables. Keep in mind, he was in show business, right? So he knows show business. So he goes, that was comedy. You do that and don't worry about busting tables. You work on that, and I'll give you $50 every Friday to come over here and do that for an hour, because he made a shitload of money on the drinks, right? So every Friday, I was getting $50. But I'm thinking about it, for 15-year-old, making $50 an hour.
And doing what you like.
Just goofing off, doing something that your teachers told you not to do. Dude, my mind started just like exploding, and then I started thinking, like, how's he able to give me $50 así nomás for me telling jokes? It doesn't make sense. But then I started seeing where he was making the money. Yo soy bien trucha, bro, I'm street smart. And I started seeing, oh, okay. So then another bar heard of what I was doing, and I started doing the comedy at this real shady cantina in Westlaco called the Horseman Saloon, bro. They stabbed the dude there. They shot a guy there también. So, and I was doing comedy there. So, I'm doing comedy there at 15, 16 years old. Pero ahora le estoy diciendo, hey, bro, we're gonna be doing comedy here, but the people that I bring in, you're gonna pay me per person that I bring in, right? So now it's on me to bring in chingos of people. So I started telling chingos of people, and all of a sudden, what turned into $50 for an hour, all of a sudden I was getting paid $500. Wow. You know, because I told them, give me $5 per person that I bring in. Well, so I start going to give away all these tickets, and I packed the place in. And the guy saw his place packed. How's this 16-year-old packing this place in? I'd just give it to my mom. Here, I'm doing this comedy show, give it to your friends. And I'd have the place packed with drinking adults as a 16-year-old getting paid $500, where that's unheard of, dude. 16 years old making $500 in an hour.
Yeah.
Bro, that blew my mind. And
it didn't even seem like work for you.
It didn't even seem like work. That's the main part. And then when I was going through college, when I got a real job thinking that comedy wasn't gonna sustain me, and I was working as a server at Logan's, bro. To this day, I am an awesome tipper. I'm an awesome tipper because I know how crappy it is to be a server. So anytime I'm at a table and I'm being, even when the service is bad, I make it a point to be a better tipper when the service is bad and try to carry that person up and get them out of the weeds because I know I've been there. I've been in the crappiest situations, and I try to be like, I live by the motto that I'm trying to make somebody's day. Like if I can make somebody's day and do God's work and be the answer to somebody's prayers, I know success is inevitable if I consistently do God's work, right? If I can make somebody laugh to where they keep from killing themselves, that's God's work. If I can drop a big tip on a waiter that wasn't having the best day, that's God's work, you know? And that's the way I operate my life. That's probably the number one reason I'm so successful is because I don't think of money. And when I don't think of money, es como las viejas, bro. When you stop thinking about the chicks, bro, se te vienen tirándote calzón. Where were you when I was jacking off into a sock?
Oh my gosh.